I wanted to talk a little bit about the difference between getting older and becoming more wise. And of course, you realize that just because you become old doesn't mean that you become wise. And on the other side of that, it is pretty much a given that, if you live long enough, if you are around and you experience enough, as you get older, you do learn a few things. You do come to a few understandings. So before we go any further, I need your help. Please do leave me a comment. Subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to grow this channel. It's sort of like when you're younger, when you're a child, and you hear your parents or adults in the room having a conversation and you're not part of that conversation. You're sort of just around. They're not talking directly to you. They're sort of talking to each other. You know there's a difference in the way they talk. You know there's a difference in the tone of voice. There's this world, there's this bridge, there's this divide between adult speak and child speak. And you notice when your parents or adults talk to you as a child, they talk differently. There's a different kind of conversation. And as you're being raised, as you're growing as a child, there's always a connection of sorts. There's always a flowing bridge that's happening, a communication that is still occurring. Well, adults and children do communicate. They do have varying degrees of understanding, and there is a evolving depth of communication, of coming into understanding, of explaining things, of telling stories, of all sorts of it. Yes, that's how children learn. Children learn within a community. They learn with the support of their adults and parents and people in their life and teachers and all the rest of it. And this really needs to be the case for the lifetime that you live. It really needs to be the case for all of the people that you come to meet. And so often it might be that you meet an old person, an older person, and you're not seeing the wisdom within them. You're not seeing the story that they have to tell. Now, there is an art to learning how to tell a story. There is an art to learning how to share wisdom. People who have been around for a long time do not necessarily guarantee that they have the ability to express themselves. It does not guarantee that they necessarily have the ability to communicate in a way that is effective, that is interesting, that is resonant with you. And it really is a matter of, well, whose responsibility is it? Is it the wise old person's job to communicate well to the younger generation? Or is it the younger generation's responsibility to understand and respect thy elders? Respect the elder people. And the bigger question of responsibility is always, yes, it is your responsibility. It is always your responsibility, whoever you are, on whichever side you are. So to look at a few examples, it's unwise to really make this concrete. It's unwise to grow old and not go into your wisdom. It's unwise to not become wise. It's unadvised to become old and unwise, or not wise. I don't know if unwise is really the opposite of wise. So to give an example, if you become old and you don't realize the experiences that you've had and you don't integrate them into your understanding, then that would be unwise. That's really a big one, because to live and to have an experience, you really have to remember that you've had the experience. Because if you're around long enough, you know you've experienced both beautiful and positive things as well as dark and horrible things, challenging things. And that's one of the real wisdoms of older people. Yes, someone who's older looks at someone and realizes this person, if they haven't already, will live through very difficult times, very challenging times. And you can see this in an older person who is bitter about their challenging times. They're difficult about their challenging times. They project their challenges of what they've lived through onto others. You don't know how hard it was for me. You don't know how difficult it was for me. You have it so much easier than me. Yes? This kind of thing. And of course we get that both ways. Yeah? We get the younger people saying that about the older people now. And really, the wise thing is to say anyone who's been on this planet long enough has experienced both. Anyone who has been around has experienced difficult things. And really, it's even so simplistic to put it into, positive and negative, beautiful or challenging. Any sort of metric is not sufficient enough to equate for the vastness of human experience, the ranges of experiences, the different places a person can be, the different feelings a person can have, the different relationships, ways of thinking, the foods, the sensory perception, the visions, the sight, the sounds, and all around the full experiences. There's no equating it. So it's wise to realize that everybody is different. Everybody has their full range. And that's very different to having a judgment before someone for not having certain experiences, for not knowing certain things about themselves, or even jealousy on the other side of having a jealousy of, you have it so much easier. Oh, you have that experience that I wanted to have. And that sort of brings me to another point, which is that it is wise for you to have been out and done what you needed to do, to live with no regrets, to live with the resolve, knowing that you tried to do what you needed to do, that there's no hang-ups of, I should have done this or I could have tried this. Yeah? You hear this in older people sometimes. They say, I could have been this. I could have done this. I should have done this while I was younger. And of course, there's a wisdom in even admitting that to yourself. A lot of older people can't even admit that. And they have regrets and they don't even know it. They have unconscious regrets. They have things that they wish they could have done, but they didn't, and they can't even admit it to themselves that that is a regret. So it takes a certain amount of self-awareness to acknowledge your regrets. And yet to say to yourself, yes, when I was young, I went out and got what I wanted. When I was young, I went out and tried what I need to try. I messed things up. I went to strange places. I found myself in outlandish situations. But at least I was adventurous. And anyone who's adventurous knows that an adventure has no guarantee. It's not a procedure that is going to give you a pleasant experience. It's not a procedure that is following step by step the process and it's going to unfold in a nice, pleasant way. Adventures are full of challenges. You find yourself stranded. You find yourself sick in a foreign country. You find yourself without any connection to the people around you. You find yourself losing things. You might lose all your money. You might lose your whatever it is. Yeah? And yet also on an adventure, there are moments where there's a tremendous beauty. There's an exploding of magnificence, of love, of color, of music. And those are the sort of moments you realize that you couldn't have had them. They would never have happened if you didn't go on that adventure. And there's a wisdom in that, yes. Being old and wise, knowing that, yes, I have been on my adventure. Yes, I went to the places I want to go to. Yes, I had the experiences that I wanted to, as colorful and challenging as they were, and unpredictable and unsettling as they were. Then you realize that for yourself. That is a world of difference to never even knowing how much is out there, how big this world is. To grow older and to not have a wisdom is really a matter of, well, knowing this difference within yourself. It's knowing these things for yourself. And it really is a matter of self-knowledge. And you see this divides again and again. You see this, this bridge between the generations, the connection between people, it will always be there. And the way that we bridge that divide is by communicating. The way we bridge that divide is by sharing the wisdom and seeing it within others, within younger people and older people. So before we go any further, I need your help. Please do leave me a comment. Subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to grow this channel. I also have online courses, and I'll be back very soon with the next episode.